So my first good evening is just a short one, right?
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to round number 2 of the road to the finals, the Dutch way. Oh yes, my name is John Wright, also known of course as the very discreet Double O Raven. Joining me in the commentary box, one of the hardest working men at DC, is Daniel joining me. Daniel Metz joining me this evening. How are you doing, Daniel? I'm very, very, very good. I am seriously excited for tonight's race. The two of us will be bringing you all the action, and there will be actions from Imola, a much changed Imola, condition-wise to what you saw the drivers bringing home the victories. The podiums coming across the line there at Zandvoort, a very changeable weather we had at round number 1. The drivers fighting through epically well, but it is round number 2. It is Imola. It's another 90 minutes this evening, and as I mentioned, it is the man himself joining me in the commentary box. Looking forward to all the action, Mr. Daniel Metz. Good evening, Daniel.
Looks like
there you go.
Yeah, am I hearable? Nice. Yeah, this is good evening, everyone. Yeah, really nice, Imola. I mean, you got to attack the curbs and fast track, lovely track. I'm again very happy with our track selection. So a nice job, Menno.
Indeed, yes, Menno, phenomenal track selections that we've got. Starting at Zandvoort, we're at Imola this evening. We're then off to Zolder. Watkins Glen, again, has there ever been a track more greatly received in a racing community than Watkins Glen has on ACC? And of course, the final round, Suzuka, an unbelievable track for endurance racing, and it will be an endurance race, 4 hours for the drivers, and that actually brings an interesting slant on the points as well. It is the road to the grand finals. This is a qualifying event. That means that there are places up for grabs in the SimGrid VCO grand finals. It's a 3-round endurance and championship. It will take place in November and December this year. It's a multi-class event, so the top 3 from each of the 10 specially selected competition hosts will get themselves a spot in the final in a GT3 car. 4th and 5th will get themselves a place in the final in a GT4 car. And 6th, 7th and 8th will get into a grand final playoff, which will take place in GT4 cars. And the top 3 from that playoff will then be awarded a spot in the finals. That is up for grabs. It was an incredible first round. As I said, the weather played a massive part in the proceedings, but it's all going to be about the drivers this evening, Daniel.
Yeah, we went from rain to dry, and then suddenly there was rain again. Rain again. Wow, tripping over my own words there. But exciting route in Zandvoort, and let's see. I think we're going to look at the standings, aren't we?
Yes, no, standings. You were just about to say we've got a very dry Imola tonight, so it's going to be much closer racing. We are expecting, but it did bring the standings up there. We'll have a quick run through then. The drivers in the driver briefing at the moment, as we saw on screen in the opening there. It was Team Shazoo that brought home the bacon. The top allotment of 55 points for the GT Omega sponsor team in the McLaren. 3 different manufacturers on the podium, with the VDES racing team bringing home the Mercedes in second, and it was a Lambo in third with Team 1. McLaren and Lamborghini making another appearance each in the top 5 with RCI Esports and Team 1. You've passed that on to me, Daniel, thanks very much. Finishing 4th and 5th, RCI Esports. A second car in the top 6, much like Team 1. The team they seem to be battling it out with, so intertwined as they finished. Due to penalties, Team 1 and RCI Esports both on 40 points after round number 1. Team Track Limits in 7th, Race at SC in 8th, with Crazy Fly Racing having a good comeback race, getting themselves 9th place, 25 points, 2 ahead of the Ferrari of Glitch Motorsport, and VDS making an appearance just outside the top 10 as well, Daniel.
Yeah. I think their second team. We have Radioli Racing in P12. 13th place is for Race Esports team. Then on P14 there's Timsys Racing with Nick Timmermans and Christophe Samijn. So a couple of DC-SimRacing locals. Another VDES Racing team entry in P15. And then we have DC-SimRacing in P16. So that's Joey Tyson's, and help me out. Just looking real quick. Incredibly professional as I am.
Indeed, I'm on a completely different screen in a minute, so you've thrown both of us under the bus there. Phenomenal stuff.
Tim Turquette, of course. So they're in P16 now. Corner Cut Racing in P17. And in P18 we have Name Not Found Racing, or Name Not Found as they're called here. Team Drinkers Pub is in P19, and the Calm Tornadoes, lovely name there, in P20.
A big shout out as well to Name Not Found, Team Name Not Found. They do rock car number 404.
Yeah, that's...
If you know, you know.
That's brilliant.
It is an absolute touch of class, to be fair. The drivers just finishing their driver briefing. As I've mentioned a couple of times, and as Daniel alluded to, I saw in the opening, very wet end to the race. It looks to be a completely different affair here at Imola. 3 miles long, of course, founded back in 1953. Fairly unchanged since, of course, 1994 variant of Bassett was changed in 2007 for events other than MotoGP. It's actually flat out from Ravazza 2 on towards Tamburello. We'll get a look at those when the drivers come out to do their quali laps. Of course, Bologna in Italy. 19 corners on the track, 8 right, 11 left, and it's got a 111 foot or 34 metre elevation change over the course of the track, over the length of the track, sorry, over the course of the track. Those would be exactly the same word in any thesaurus. We can hear those car engines absolutely revving, and that is indeed the drivers flooding out onto track. So without further ado, that's the standings. Let's have a look at, there we go, some cars on track, Daniel. And I tell you, we were just saying there, oh, it's all sunny and bright, and it wasn't the practice. There's clouds in the sky and it's looking a little touch grey here, Daniel. Could we, I mean, be still my beating heart, are we getting some rain here?
Who knows? Well, I mean, it would sure be exciting, but yeah, of course, yeah, we were, as we were saying before we went live, it would probably be good for the championship to see these guys go full out as well. But yeah, I mean, rain is always exciting, so who knows?
Indeed, indeed. We've got 21 cars out on track, all making their way around. Haleman, Campagnala, Orgodonovic, Troche, Timmermans all finished the last race. Bogoroditsky took the first stint. Hladky took first stint as well. So they're outsetting their quali times. It is a 20-minute quali session around the track. They're going to be lapping in about the 1 minute 40s. 1 minute 41s, I would expect some scarily quick times.
Yeah. I don't know what your quickest time is here, but I think mine is on a good day 1:43 low probably. So yeah, I don't have to bother driving along with these guys.
Yeah, I think my best time at Imola was in the car park when they opened the hot dog stall. I made it across the car park quicker than I was front of the queue. That's about it. I had some friends. It is such a beautiful track to drive. It's got like 111 feet of elevation change, which doesn't seem like much, but the majority of it, of course, is in that corner. But yeah, I just, as a Ferrari driver as well, it's quite embarrassing that I cannot get a lap around this course, but I really do struggle. But I do understand, of course, the beauty of the whole thing. I just, for me myself, I think the best I've ever done, I had some friends who were doing an endurance race, and I think this was the 1.7 patch, and I was way north of 46. And that's being generous to myself, so I don't embarrass myself overly much.
Let me just laugh at your lap time, John. It feels good.
Honestly, yeah, just cannot get to grips with it at all. Let's see. Now, where's he gone? Where's that screen? There he is there. Matthias Ladke, the Team Shizou driver, just coming through the first chicane. So we'll get a look at his early advances over the track. While Daniel, just to make me feel all the better, give me a rough estimate. Just ballpark how many seconds it off we're talking here. Miles off, haven't I? With a 46 north, what's Daniel's time around Imola? And in what car as well, actually?
I think we did an endurance in the Lexus, and that was about 1:43.4, I think it was. So that's absolutely not an amazing time as well, as you see what these guys are doing here. So, but I mean, especially for endurance, because I personally I only test on pretty much full fuel loads.
Okay.
I'm a lousy qualifier. Just thinking about having to do an amazing lap, and yeah, that just puts me way off. So I probably well, I'm not going to say I drive best when. I'm going to say I suck less when I have just an hour still to go and can really get into the race. And yeah, looking forward to that 4 hour, because the 4 hour race, yeah, I think a nice crown jewel to this cup, to this competition. So, yeah, lovely to be here tonight. And you really have to go out on the curbs here as we go through the Variante Tamburello here on the way to Variante Villeneuve. Right here again, nice, and yeah, completely over the curb here. And it's so important. This is Tosa. It's really important to get the speed onto this straight, because you quickly lose a couple of tenths here. And then we're on the way to Piratella. And this is one of those corners that you have to time right, because it's easy to get a lap invalidation as Latke gets here. So, but yeah, let's join him as we go through Aqua Minerali. And then onto Variante Volta. And this is one of the points where we're going to see overtaking here, probably. So, again, the chicane, have to be courageous there, have to really, yeah, fly yourself over that curb. And on the way to the Rivazza's here, so you see that Vladi is probably making a bit of room for himself, but yeah, through Rivazza 1 and then Rivazza 2. And again, of course, same here, you really have to get this right to get the maximum speed out of this straight. So, and over start finish here. Here, exactly.
Nicely done. I love your accent. Martin Lenk, well, that was happening. That's honestly brilliant. That's the best I've heard those corner names read in a long time.
You love my accent, but there's Italians out there cringing on.
Really? You think Italians cringe when you say these corner names? Hi, what's got two thumbs and speaks French very badly? Moi. Martin Lorenk is leading in the way though. Latke, while he had that little off-track moment there while we were mesmerised by Daniel's lyrical genius, we've got Martin Lorenk who's taking the top spot by almost 0.3 of a second. Latke really, as Daniel was mentioning, you really do have to use those track limits as much as possible. And there is Gornikov up into second place, less than a tenth, separating the front row already. We're only 8 minutes into qualifying. Campagnella for Raggioli Racing. Again, apologies to the Italian teams. I will get Daniel to pronounce your name more than I do. Ladkinen finds himself half a tenth behind Campagnella, and we've got Polovchuk for Team Balas Esports, the Ukrainian driver, at 5th place, just ahead of Crazy Flies Nikita Bogoroditsky. 0.4 of a second at the moment, Daniel, separating the top 7, just over half a second separating the top 8, bang on a second separating the top 12. Let's keep the rain, I think. Let's just stick with this. Top 12 separated by a second, less than 9 minutes into quali. Good things to come.
Yeah, with a field like this, you don't actually need rain. So this should be good. It should be good, whatever happens with the weather.
Indeed it will. There's still going to be a lot of improvements as well, actually, as we can see. Emmanuel Riel for the Glitz Racing team doing well in the Ferrari at the moment. He's found a lot of time there. He's going to be joining the top 15 if he keeps this up. We've also got Velikopolsky, who is the driver in 12th, as I mentioned there, exactly 1 second off the qualification time at the minute, but he is green delta. So too Martin Lorenk, and I'm going to say it's an impressive, Matthias Ladke, while I was looking down the rest of the field, he is back into pole, less than a 10, we did see that, but it is Lorenk. The two of them are going green and the delta's on and off. Lorenk's holding that 0.2 a bit better. We've also got Ignacy Butek, who is in the 9th place at the minute, but he is certainly threatening the front row. Bogoroditsky and Arndt could very well have themselves some company there very soon. In fact, he could be aiming higher. Larenk is aiming for pole. Hladke is aiming to keep it. He's got a nice bit of slipstream along that start-finish straight, and he's absolutely going to need it because Larenk's just gone quicker, but then Hladke has just gone quicker. Big, deep breath in there from Daniel. 7 thousandths separating those two across the line. And they crossed the line and set those times about half a second apart. I mean, it doesn't get any closer than this in qualifying, surely.
Nice. This is so good. This is so good.
Yeah. Sorry,
Larenk, Larenk had, of course, had that courageous move to stay on slicks in Zandvoort. So, yeah, we had, of course, he did go, do I remember correctly? He did go in at some point, I think, but I don't know. He just stayed out on slicks, and yeah, he did lose time, obviously, but still able to finish in 5th. So, yeah, that was a nice move, because I think if I remember correctly, he started in 7th there, so...
yeah, it was made up a couple of places, like you say. It's bravely, commendation bravely, stayed out on the slicks, hoping that the weather would clear. It did, but then it didn't again.
Yeah, exactly.
The clouds quickly gathered, and denied him a potential podium given the drive that he was putting in, and it's a fair assumption to make given the performance that he's putting in now in qualifying. We've still got 8 minutes to go, and the track is still rubbering in.
I think I got a little treat for you, John.
Oh,
because race it online is in the chat, and they say "Buonasera a tutti." How's that for?
Excellent. That is good evening.
I have absolutely no idea what it means. You know what it means?
I think so. Well, Buena is good, I'm sure. I think Sarah is evening. A tutti, I think, is friend. Good evening, friend.
A tutti, maybe it's everyone.
Oh, everyone.
Yeah.
Oh,
good evening. Good evening.
Yes.
Yeah, we also have Tommy Faas in the chat. Menno, of course. Roytje, that's Roy Heveling, if I'm correct. Tom Bryant, who said you can't hear me. I hope you can hear me now, because yeah, John really enjoyed my accent. It would be a shame if you would have to miss that. And of course, Tom Venters is also in the chat. So yeah, and I think Race It Online does a couple of thumbs up. So I think my pronunciation was correct, and our translation of it was also well, in the ballpark, probably.
Yeah, probably someplace in the ballpark. Yes. Good evening, everyone. In the chat, and if you did prefer it when you couldn't hear Daniel, just say he seems to be getting a bit bigger if he's both them. I'm the professional. Yeah, good evening. Good evening everyone in the chat. It's just the sheer levels of excitement and adrenaline that's pumping through me right now, because we've got 1 second separating the top 13 effectively. And the drivers down at the back of the grid are finding time at the moment. Credit is, in fact, go and give me a correct pronunciation of Alexander's surname, please. That is a Dutch surname. Credit.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Well, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm really. By the way, we have Menno asking if I have the microphone in my mouth, so I might have to turn it down a bit. But. Yeah, let's check that in a second. Yeah, it's Alex Credit.
Okay. Want to speak for me again, Daniel?
Yeah, let's check this out. Menno, is this any better?
That sounds okay, actually. Oh, okay, yeah, no, you are a bit louder than me. And the game is maybe a little bit...
We wouldn't want that.
No, definitely not. Right, let me see. How is that? Go and speak for me again, Daniel.
Yeah? How is this?
Yeah, that seems to be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You are very clear actually through my broadcast software. At my end, certainly. Audio checking on the fly. It's amazing how everything is fine before you hit go live, and then as soon as you do, Windows says, oh, excuse me, we've got an update, we're going to half apply it now, just restart your piece. Of course, yeah, no problem whatsoever.
Yeah,
excellent.
but it's also that's the thing if you work with me or any other incredible amateur. Then
it's your magnetic personality. That's what it is. It's your magnetic personality. It's just the sheer magnetism is just thrown off the equipment, Daniel. It's absolutely, completely
that must be it.
Off
That
the
must
charts, I know. Well, I was going to crack a snooker joke there, but I definitely won't.
I don't know if you're familiar with snooker, but yeah, fall in the miss.
Excellent. We've got 5 minutes left to go. As I was saying, the drivers are going to be lapping in about the 1:40s. That's exactly what the track has just hit optimum. So we've got 5 minutes of the drivers going even quicker. Byskovsky in 12th was 1 second off the pace, or 12th was 1 second off the pace, now only 8/10 off the pace. So the track definitely getting quicker, so too is the field. There's Tim Croquet for DC-SimRacing. The beautiful livery. I tell you what, I'll always do a bit of gratuitous free cam, just because I'm a massive geek. There we go. So why not get the host livery on there? It is a good one.
And do you see that sponsor name on the spoiler? I'm really proud of that. That's something, sort of a little present from Menno.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my
wow.
that's my company name. So
Mets IT for all your IT needs. What is the website, Daniel?
I don't have one.
Okay,
so,
there we go.
Yeah, you know what?
Daniel on Discord directly.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see what I can do for you. Don't ask me about hardware because I know nothing about that.
Yeah, you and I should join forces. I love geeking out on hardware. Also geeking out on this livery. So there we go, some gratuitous. We've got 4 minutes left. The track is optimum, so we're going to see times tumble over the next few minutes. But yeah, beautiful job of the livery.
I'm looking at Tomlin, the 74 car. He's on 4/10 improvement. He's currently in 16th place. So I could jump to 14, I think, if he could keep this up. But yeah, there we go. That's the end of his lap. It's, I mean, I do not only cause all kinds of technical problems during commentary, but I also mess up people's lap by talking about them.
The curse of the commentator is strong with this one.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, we've still got a couple of minutes to go. But there you go, Menno. Some gratuitous promo shots there for you.
Be sure to make screenshots, Menno.
Yeah, that does look good. Oh, although it's got all my logos and things on there. I'll send you the replay of this.
Yeah, perfect. This is going to be our new. It's probably going to be a new poster very soon. So.
Yeah, looking good. Looking good up at the top. It's still Matthias Hladky then for Team Shizou. Brought home the win in round number 1. 2.5 minutes left to go qualifying. Oh, and he's off track. He's going to need to get back out of the pits very quickly. We've got another car off track there as well. Yellow flag not showing on pit wall for that one. And that's not that car number. There we go. Everything is running very smoothly. Hopefully the sound all sorted out now.
Microphone is out of my mouth, so very good.
Yep, still sounding phenomenal.
Oh yeah, and also really proud of the drivers that I think we didn't have to restart the server this time. So the driver entry or order of entry is a bit difficult, of course, in ACC, but everything went right tonight. So nice job, guys. And I'm not being sarcastic there, because it's always a challenge to get it right. So
yes, it is. The driver list entry system is it's a wonder to behold, and it is it's a thing to navigate.
Yeah,
this is coming from Daniel, who's a professional IT expert. So yeah, for your average Joe that just wants to get virtual tyre on virtual tarmac and put a few laps in, it can be fun times. It's getting even closer at the top, Daniel. We've got 13 drivers within 9/10 of pole. 14 drivers. Tim Truquet for DC-SimRacing. He's just done a 1:41.1 around Imola, and he finds himself in 14th place. Very quick lap time he's put in, unbelievably close in the field. And yeah, Hladky's time really standing the test of time in the closing stages here.
Yeah, and Tim is one of the quicker guys at DC-SimRacing. I mean, these guys are absolutely not slow, but the level is just so incredibly high. Yeah, did I say that we're really proud that we're allowed to host this championship, and thank you everyone who's joining us, because yeah, this is really great. And I mean, even for guys like Tim himself, I'm sure they enjoy it a lot to be able to drive against this sort of level. It's really educational as well. I can only imagine, because you need the competition to get better. So
Exactly.
challenge.
Yep, 100%. There is Race IT in the chat, and in the Ferrari up to 13th position, another driver. So that's now 15 within a second. We're coming into the closing stages of the qualifying. I was about to give you a quick rundown of what is happening with pit stops, but we'll just keep an eye on qualifying, because there is still a lot of green deltas out there. And Christoph Samin in the Tim Sis Racing coming around the last corner. He may well be about to mix things up a bit. If he can get a good exit here, that's not quite enough. I don't think that's going to be enough to improve on position. It is going to be a better time, and it is. Oh no, it is an improvement. He has gone up to 16th then. So he has gone up to 16th in the closing stages. Campaniella, I think he's just invalidated his lap. He was a 10th up there, so Velopolsky was certainly going to be looking over his shoulder. Bogoroditsky still chasing, but at the minute he is 4 tenths down. That's a lot to make up, and not a lot of track left. In fact, half a second. So this more than likely just a tyre data, unless on his quick lap he had a really bad Ravazza when he's looking to make that back there. Potentially, he is still very much got the foot in. Hladkey's going to cross the line. He is almost gone quicker there. In fact, that was an almost identical time that he just set to his pole time. So really starting his authority of Velopolsky in the pits. Campaniella and Bogoroditsky, no improvement there for Bogoroditsky. He pulls into the pits. So does Gornikovic, and yeah, that looks like everyone is in. And that is, look at that, Daniel. Thalou and Badoba in the Audi taking purple in sector number 1, starting in 9th place.
No.
Does that not just tell you everything about the strength of the field?
Absolutely. This top 10 is so close. Oh, I mean, I say top 10, but you could really include the number 10 car as well, of course. And it's not like the 411 car is that much further behind, but yeah, it's suddenly a huge gap between quotation marks I mean, it's about 3 tenths there. So yeah, really close. Good to see.
Yeah, it really is. And I tell you, it's also good to see, I think. I was talking recently in a few other races about how the Aston Martin has really stood the test of time. Even now, you still see it doing well. The McLaren, I've been obviously at Silverstone, but I've been watching some races at Silverstone recently, and the McLaren doing well. It's taken the points in the rain at Zandvoort, and it's locked out the front row here for round number 2, the road to the grand finals the Dutch way, with Hladky and De Campo. Well, Hladky setting the all-important time there. He was out for that whole session. 7 thousandths of a second ahead of Larenk and Brescia. What a race we are in for. Agornikov and Rakhmatov wrestling the McLaren dominance from the top 3, bringing home the Aston Martin in third, with Haleman and Busek bringing the McLarens back into focus once again. In 4th place. Then is a trio of Lambos with Littersheed and Shea, Makovkin and Bogoroditsky and Campaniella, and Hemming starting 5th, 6th and 7th. Velikopolsky and Sukorokova. It's not the easy. I'm going to be honest. I'm just grateful they're not on the track at the same time. It's difficult enough when they're in the team. But do with that, and Thalou in the Audi there in 9th, as I mentioned, with a purple sector. Polovchuk doing all the work there in 10th. Another McLaren, 4 McLarens in the top 10. 2 Mercedes, and Audi, and the 3 Lamborghinis grouped together. Fleischer and Arndt starting in 11th, with Munim and Viskovsky starting in 12th. Adamu and Barbary in 13th. Real and Polone in 14th. Troquet and Tyson's, like I say, 1 second off the qualifying time, almost exactly. Find themselves in 15th with Samin and Timmermans in 16th, Tomlin and Amaral in 17th, Jones and Venters, who's in the chat, in 18th place, Alderman and Scheckerman in 19th, Credit and Thillane in 20th, Schneider and Schneider in 21st. Nice easy team, thank you very much, chaps. It is Chapettes. It is Osforth and Bisters starting in 22nd position.
Also good to see Mitchell Osford there. That's also a familiar name for DC-SimRacing, of course. But yeah, he's. I think it's been a while since he's been racing, so good to see him back. And of course, Alles Krediet and Daniel Thiele. Just want to let you know what that name sounds like. So yeah, good to see those guys as well in P20.
Yeah, no way I'm getting them correct more than once during the broadcast, so yes, feel free.
Oh, you got Joey Tyson's right, so
I did.
So
after much practice and after last week's broadcast,
you were practicing in front of a mirror.
That's the one. That is the one. That is the excuse, and I am sticking to it. Drivers, of course, this evening, as we've mentioned, they're driving for places in the grand finals. It is a 5-round competition. The first 4 rounds are 90-minute races. There is a mandatory pit stop. There is a 30-minute pit stop window. During that time, the drivers must, of course, swap, and no driver can spend more than 60 minutes on the track during one race. In the 4-hour race, it is 3 mandatory pit stops again. Driver swaps required, and there's a 150-minute stint timer for the drivers. And interestingly as well, Daniel, and something that I failed to mention in the opening broadcast, not only is round number 5 much longer, there is a lot to play for with the substantial increase in the points up for grabs.
Yeah, and all the drivers are getting points, so it's absolutely. We're not expecting that anyone is going to drop out for the last round because, I'm not going to win anyway. I mean, the increase in points, I think roughly we're going to give out 4 times as many points for the number 1 at least. So that shows that it's definitely worthwhile to join that last event and do the proper endurance thing of just finishing the race, and that's of course the most important thing, because every point counts, and it could really make a massive impact on the standings in the last round. We might have to do a math course before we can do that race there.
I mean, that would obviously be the royal we, because I'm sure as that's happening, I've suddenly had some kind of technical issues during the broadcast which will require my undivided attention. So I think that might be your good self will be on the mathematics for that one, Daniel. I think, suddenly having issues with the OBS. Let me just check this out. Daniel, I'm sure you can bring this up. But yes, no, it's absolutely no understatement. At the minute, you get 55 points for first, 49 for second, 44 for third, 40 for fourth, and 37 points for fifth. Round number 5, 204 points on the line just for first place, 192 for second, 182 for third, and it doesn't slow down any. 7th place is still up for 156 points, 3 times what first place currently gets. So it really will come down to the last race, and 100% agree with Daniel. I don't think we're going to see much of a dropout rate in this championship, because really anything, and especially, Daniel, 4 hours round Suzuka, it is a nice long flowing track that really does encourage very good racing, plenty of room to overtake, and that is going to be an absolute spectacle with the teams battling out with so many points on the line.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm looking at P22, which is what the Mitchell Ford is driving right now, and that will give you 76 points. So, I mean, just goes to show that, it's definitely worthwhile. And anything can happen. It's an endurance race, so
Exactly.
it's a long time.
Track limits and pit stop violations.
Yeah.
Have I said that too early?
I mean, but also steering wheels cutting out during the race, that sort of thing, of course, also happens.
Indeed it does. Technical. But here we go. There is the red lights. Here comes the green lights. Here comes 22 drivers chasing the points, and it is a great start from Hladky and Larenk. Gornikov bogged down ever so slightly, coming under instant pressure from Busek with Littersheed behind the wheel. Bogoroditsky tucked in behind it, all make it through. Oh, it's three wide just in the background there. Littersheed almost coming a cropper, and he does actually go off track ever so slightly. Oh, not the best of rejoins. That all survive, but are going to lose positions to Velika Polski then. He's going to make him a move up the inside. There's the Race It Squadra car as well in the background. The Audi looking good. Oh, and there's another contact for the Lamborghini then. So the Mercedes just dropping down there ever so slightly. Campagnella, the driver, getting caught up twice there. The Race IT in the background. Oh, and there's a bit of contact again. That's another Lamborghini there. Nicholas Arndt there just having a bit of a coming together with Polovchuk there, I believe it was. Polovchuk just making his way through. Mercedes making a charge. That's Voskowski up positions. Oh, and we've got... that wasn't Tyson's.
Yep.
It was Tyson's there, up at the front, Hladky, everything is as you... Oh, and it is down through Aquaman Rally. That's far too much oohing and ahhing for an open lap there. But let's have a look at Joey Tyson's and we'll see what happened at the start of his race into turn number one. Oh, and there's a concertina effect there as well. So, and he took a contact there from the Ferrari. So a lot of door banging, but thank you 1.9 physics update. No one into the shadow realm at this point. Oh wow, the Ferrari really closes the door and sends it up the inside into the second chicane. Tyson's has to take avoiding action with the concertina effect. He is then side by side. Leaves plenty of room around the outside. Now it's along the straight. Oh, there we go. We can see the Audi out on the curb, so he's slowed down. The Mercedes and the Team Ballast car 3 positions up, making a move. That is the number. Oh, and that is a full shunt.
Ball and a miss, but unfortunately not a miss for Joe.
Green ball in the corner pocket, certainly there. Tyson's now finds himself down at the back of the field. He's got a bit of time to make up, but there is still a bit of door banging going on ahead, so he's likely to catch up. And we can see Osforth there making the most of what's going on, and I believe that is Tyson's already caught up back to the car that he made contact with. They make contact again, and the clumsy contact through the second chicane. The 2 Ferraris taking themselves out. Tyson getting a bit of a rub of the green there. Didn't have much luck in the opening exchanges, but certainly has theirs. We can see the Race at Squadra. Ferrari coming under serious pressure from Voskowski, and in fact he's got the overtake done there. My apologies, he's actually just got the overtake done there on Burkowski, who's now got Tomlin and Campagnella trying to close in. Campagnella 14th position now, and in fact it was Real, I believe, who made the contact with Tyson's, not the Ferrari that he's just gone past. It was the Glitch Academy car. Up at the front, there's still racers racing for the lead, believe it or not, and it's Larenk who is leading the way with Gornikov. Where is Hladky? He's in 6th position, and at this stage, is he already in 6th? No, he's not. So what's happened here? Is this down into Aquaman Rally? Cars all on his own. Is there anyone in front? Oh, there is cars in front, so whatever's happened, Daniel, I couldn't get back far enough back on the replay. I don't suppose by any chance you happen to catch what happened there, because race leader Matthias Hladky is now down to 6th position.
I'm looking into it. Please hold.
Yes, excellent. So Daniel's going to check through the replay and have a look at that as we see more battling up ahead as Busek trying to get past Littersheed. All promoted those positions. Larenk in the lead then. It's Gornikov in 2nd place. Bogoroditsky in 3rd, being hunted down by Busek there. In 5th position. Hladky now in 6th place. Still big battles going on in the background as we see the Ferrari of Timmermans coming under increasing pressure from the Porsche behind, although as I say that, out of the second chicane, the back of the Porsche got a bit excitable under influence of the loud pedal, and the Ferrari gets himself a bit of a handy gap there. Thelou in 10th, looking to make that a single digit position. He has dropped down a couple of positions for the Race Esports team. Involved in a couple of the side-by-sides. It's Adamu that is ahead of him. Vyskowski just behind. You can see how much more aggressively... Oh, wow. That was a whole lot aggressive there from Vyskowski. He really threw that one in to that chicane. I was just about to say how much more aggressively the drivers are attacking the curves since the 1.9 update. The Mercedes was always a bit handy over the curves, to say the least.
As Latke and Lorenk were battling into Tombrello, Latke basically lost it over the curbs and was just in the well, I'm not going to say soft spot, but he was off the track for a short while, which cost him a few positions, unfortunately.
Yeah, given how close they are, it's not surprising that he's lost so many positions. Lorenk hasn't lost the battle that he's ensued in. Nagornikov is still hanging in there in the Mercedes, looking very quick as you would expect. Litterseed and Bogoroditsky very close as well, the two Lamborghinis. So not a great start for the McLaren, certainly. 3 in the top 4 to start with. Now only 1 in the top 4, with 5th and 6th about to do battle as well. Arndt is closing in on Velikopolsky, who's fortuitously made up a couple of positions and is holding well. Campagnella closing in on Tomlin, Vyskowski, Adamu and Thelou entrenched in a battle as well. And in fact, that's a 3-way battle, so we might just jump on board and watch that one as Adamu and Vyskowski. And they've got really close again, Litterseed and Bogoroditsky for the podium positions. Only 7 minutes in, so they are still very close. I'm going to try and bring you as much as I can, because Tomlin is being hunted down by Campagnella, trying to make his way through the field. Jones, Timmerman, Osifort, 17th, 18th and 19th being hunted down by Titans, who's made it back from 22nd back up to 20th. And in fact, that might be the closest group of cars we've got. As we can see, Joey Tomlin, he's going to be absolutely outgunned here, or dead. Campagnella get enough of an exit. He's got the cars side by side as they go through the kink. Right, kink, left, into the first chicane, moves over. Oh, really does aggressively try and open up the corner, but does make it through then. So that's Campagnella back up a position. Oh, as we can see, the Ferrari ahead, was that wasn't Adamu, was it? No, it wasn't. Oh, it's Real.
I think it was.
No, it was Emmanuel Real. Oh, and again he spun.
Ooh.
Wow, so we saw him involved with Tyson's. In fact, I'm just about to jump back to Tyson, because there is a 5-way battle going on with Tyson's at the moment down at the back of the field, 20th through 16th, right in one another's pockets. And I believe actually this was the battle that Real was just at the front of. Yeah, Timmermans also fourth, just behind him. Certainly no one near him as he comes over the start-finish line. So this looks like it might be a bit of driver error into the first chicane then. Confirmation he is tumbling down the order, down to 20th position. Okay, so a touch between... Oh yeah, so that was the overtake ahead. He does look like he's got a bit of damage on the front. Oh, and I was just talking, Daniel, about how aggressively drivers are hitting those curves at the moment, and that was just a little too aggressive there. Oh, and he's touched the brake while on that curve.
Yeah, can't have that. Should touch the brake here as well, of course. And I see someone called SOP Motorsport, which you might know.
Oh!
Says he is in the chat. Says, well, who is this on the mic? They could have gotten someone better. Yeah, we couldn't afford it, mate. So yeah, you had to settle for John. So
excuse me, we're suddenly having problems with Daniel's microphone. I'm not sure what's going on. We seem to be having technical issues. We'll maybe get him back for next week. That'd be good.
Yeah, I'm very happy that we could land John for a second there.
Excellent. And actually, a big thank you to Simon, not only jumping straight in with the warm hellos. Thanks, Simon. But yeah, we can actually thank SOP Motorsport for the beautiful visuals that you're seeing right now. So yeah, does look good. And again, this is why we need to switch to YouTube so we can do full 2K, Simon. I mean, this does look pretty. Or it would look better if the logos were like this. Yeah, go. But how you doing this evening, mate? You enjoying the racing? I know you do love yourself a bit of Imola. We've got some quick ones. Team Shizou, of course, a lot of these names will be familiar to your good self, Matthias Ladke. Usually, he did take pole position, dropped down to 6th place. Now back up to 5th though. Bogoroditsky, of course, Martin Larenk, a name you know very, very well. He is leading the way at the minute, 2nd in qualifying. We've got Campagnella for Raggioli Racing. Oh, coming under big pressure through Ravazza and the Mercedes, getting the nose in there, getting the side-by-side on the exit, and that is Tomlin. No, it's not Tomlin, sorry, it is Vyskowski. Sorry, he was actually going into full defensive mode there. Fending off the Raggioli Racing Lamborghini, who did get the move done there. So I was actually seeing that the wrong way around. It was the Mercedes trying to retake the position as the Raggioli car made that one stick very much later on the brakes. Yeah, the Mercedes was trying to cut back, but to no avail on the exit. And that is the Raggioli car making back places. Yeah, they're making back places, Daniel, which they need to do, but no, they're quick. They've dropped down the order early doors. It is a 90-minute race, but of course the earlier you can get these positions back, it's going to be really vital when they hand the baton over in the pit stop phases.
Yeah, they were involved in a little shunt. I saw a replay of that. I don't know if you were able to show it, but they dropped back 7 places initially, and already took back 2 places. So still, would have hoped for a better start, of course, but nice job in getting it back. I have to do a little correction, John. The points that we have on the sim grid, not sure if we can change it still, but it's double points, and it's only the first 25 teams. But looking at the grids we've had so far, it's still definitely worthwhile for everyone to join that last race and try to get double points, because it's doesn't really change that. It still could make it should have a huge impact on the final standings, of course. So it's just a little correction that I wanted to make.
Sorry, I was just looking at something. Daniel, if you want, you could can you screen share your screen to Discord? If you can, if it's not too much hard, but if you can screen share your screen to Discord, then we can I can actually show replays that you've got. Should have thought of that sooner.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let me look it up.
Yeah, but have a nosy. I'll keep an eye on the action. If it's something you can do, perfect. If not, we can get it set up for the next race. We'll certainly get it set up for Suzuka. We've got Nicholas Arndt looking to set up an overtake on Velikopolski, who's done a magnificent job defending so far since getting himself up into 7th, making the Mercedes as wide as possible, fending off the Lambo Evo, which has been a popular choice since the update. But as I've mentioned a few, the McLaren and the Aston certainly standing the test of time. No Astons in this one, or certainly on the grid tonight. There is Astons in the competition, but not on track this evening. McLaren's leading the way. Ladke in 5th. He got himself ahead of Busick, as we saw, and he's caught right up to Lettersheed as well. Velikopolski is still fighting off Arndt. Campagnella has caught himself up to Adamu. Where's Campagnella? There he is there. So he's got a battle on his hands. Oh, in fact, he's got past, sorry. That is the overtake done there. Again, through the same section of course, he really is getting that Lamborghini guided through section. Oh, although the Ferrari, again, a bit brave, a bit aggressive on the contact of the curb, really robbed him of his momentum down towards Ravazza. And it's the Lamborghini I tell you, the Ferrari got a good run though, but again, later on the brakes, that Lamborghini really can't jam on the anchor, sneaks his nose in front, little touch of contact on the way through, and that leaves Wiskowski looking to gain a position back, which he did, so he did manage to complete that move as well. So the Ferrari have Adamu down 2 places there in 2 corners. Certainly he is still applying pressure as well. Hladky looking to get his way closer to the podium, and Larenk really is putting the foot down now. 1.7 seconds separating him from Gornikov, and 2.7 seconds back. Bogoroditsky leading this train of podium chasers. Littersheet, Hladky and Busek not giving up the chase by any means. In these top 6 now, 4.9 seconds up on the rest of the field. Arndt there within range of Velikopolski. Can he make an impression on the lead that this lead group have got if he gets himself past the Mercedes? Adamu and Wiskowski still hanging on the back of Campagnella, trying to catch up to Thulum. We've got Jones looking for an overtake on Scheckerman as well. Tyson's Timmermans still very close. Osseforth into turn number 1. Bogoroditsky's rear view mirror very busy indeed. The Crazy Fly Racing getting a top 10 in round number 1, and for the great start here to round number 2.
I do have a little replay for you if you want to share my screen, John.
Okay, so bear with me 2 seconds. I will very quickly. He says confidently. Yeah, so I'm just quickly setting up the replay. We've still got Bogoroditsky on screen being chased by Littersheet. Obviously be very awkwardly sized. I'll tell you what, let's yeah, so there you go, let's pop that replay. There you go, that's the replay on. I'll do some magic in the background.
So here we go. It's actually the number 10 car of Arndt that hit him actually, but he definitely that was it, the replay. Yeah, he definitely did not keep the brake on there, so he was bumped by a couple of cars there. So he, let me see which car that is, not really sure, but I think he was initially hit by the number 10 car of Arnke, then he himself hit another 2 cars, so unfortunate.
Indeed, and there we go, back on board. So yeah, any more replays, just let me know and we can line those up.
Sure.
And I'll work some magic for the next one as well. But yeah, there we go, nice and smooth, and I can see that as well actually, so that's perfect. But yeah, while that was happening, Bogoroditsky doing his best to break away from the chasing pack, leaving Busek, Hladky and Littersheet to battle on. It's now Littersheet that is giving up the slipstream. Arndt and Velikopolski, they two still battling away. Velikopolski really is putting in a defensive performance here, keeping Arndt at bay. Absolutely no slouch, as we know. That's not a good passenger car. We're coming into sector 3. We've seen some miracles over this final chicane, and even in a Lambo, look how much of that curbing they're taking. Very little undulation of the car. Still fighting through. Timmermans and Osseforth. Tyson's has got himself back up to 17th position then. So yeah, he's running 17th at the moment.
O'Brien in the chat asking what happened to Hladky at the start. I think it was the second lap, if I'm not mistaken. He was battling with Laurent, and yeah, the two had contact. Hladky ending up in Tamarello into the gravel for a second and lost 5 positions. So was initially back in the 6th place and already back to P5 now. So that's what happened. See, Joe Tyson's having a yellow flag now.
So I'm still setting up some technical stuff in the background just to make that all look even better. We've got Arndt still applying the pressure to Velikopolski. We've got Hladky, who, as we mentioned, they're down to 6th position, looking to get back up to 4th very quickly indeed. And Tyson's, you were saying there, with a yellow flag.
Yeah, and I think he's actually logged off
race.
now. But yeah, let me check what is correct. But I'm afraid he's out. So let me see if I can find what exactly happened there.
Oh, here we go then. We're going to see the overtake. Arndt has been unbelievably patient there. Or is he? Velikopolski off both sides of the track here. And while I've been watching these two, actually, Polovchuk in the background has clearly been very quietly, very calmly and consistently going about his business. He's now within 1.3 seconds of these two battling. We've just seen potentially a chink in the Velikopolski armour as he run wide there through Aqua Minerale. Sounds so much better when Daniel says it. But yeah, Velikopolski, he does manage to hold on to the position. Surely he's given up enough slipstream along the start-finish there. We're going to see the side-by-side into the first chicane. Only 21 minutes gone, so still an hour and 9 to go. And of course the driver swap, so the drivers aren't going to pull anything too crazy really out on that curve. And is he going to stay in the slipstream? Is he going to look for a move? Nope, he's just going to hang on in there. Very neatly done, but as I just said, Polovchuk, the team ballast driver in the McLaren, who's watching him in the Lambo there, showing for a move into the second chicane. That's yeah, not someplace you're really going to try. Around the outside here potentially, but the Mercedes opening up the corner, making sure that it was going to be right around the outside if the Lambo wanted that move to stick.
Looking at the situation with the 112 car by Joey Tysons. He did have a bit of contact with 444, so that's Mitchell Ossefort. But I can't see that that will be the reason why he logged off. So I can only imagine right now that he had some technical difficulty. Trying to find the exact spot where he retired.
Yeah, so while you keep an eye on that, Polovchuk still keeping a close eye on the battle between Arndt and Velikopolski, which we will do as well into the Vatsa once again. And in fact, I think we should probably watch Busick then. He was almost getting a run there on Hladky. Is this a lap? Hladky gets himself back up to 4th position. That is a good amount of slipstream. He's going to be getting into turn number 1. He's popped out early, goes round the outside. Has he got the overspeed? Can he get it done on the brakes? Really defending the line there for the Lamborghini. That's cost a lot of momentum there to Hladky and has brought him under serious pressure then from Busick. So really defending the line aggressively. Letter sheet there. Making sure that Hladky had to use every single millimetre of the available track and curbing to keep it on the track, and it's really taken the momentum out of the car, and it's put Busick in a very good position indeed, and it's given Littersheet a bit of breathing space. Polovchuk still applying the pressure from behind. Oh, sorry, not applying the pressure. He is calmly watching this one still. As we can see, still only a couple of tenths separating Arndt and Polovchuk. We've also got Ossefort, as Daniel mentioned, a little bit of contact there, but nothing major certainly. Timmerman's still behind in the Ferrari, but only 6 tenths separating these two. And I think, if I'm correct there on Daniel's screen, I think we'll have just seen.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
That's the 112 car taking a direct trip to Rome, probably. So that looked like a disconnect there, unfortunately. Connection problems for the 112 car. Joey Tyson's flying through the air. It's not where you want to be.
Indeed, it is not. Oh, I will need to completely resize that to make that work, but that's fine. So there we go. So yeah, just doing a couple more. Oh no. Yeah, that one just now. But yeah, so we do have. Oh no. Excellent. There we go. Technical. We do love technology, don't we? You think to yourself, I'd love to be a commentator and commentate on sim racing, and then you see the amount of wires that are involved, and you think to yourself, is it really worth it?
It's not. It's not, ladies and gentlemen. It's not. It's not all it's cranked up to be.
Well, it's not the glamorous lifestyle people think.
No. Yeah, you think as a kid that this is going to be fun, but no, it's not. Just get a job, ladies and gentlemen. Anything else will do.
Indeed, yeah. It's funny because it's true. Oh, there we go then. We've just seen that is down through Aquaman Rally. Oh, and Polovchuk having a big look, a lot of patience over the last few laps, but really did have a big send moment there. Let's see exactly what happened then. It was Velikopolski who'd been doing the defending the past 4 or 5 laps. Getting a great job of it done as well. We did see a bit of an Aquaman Rally mistake. He did manage to gather up, but that was 2 laps ago, so we're heading towards you now. There's Ladke out in front, so let's see what happens here. Moves over ever so slightly. Certainly not a defensive move. The car looks fine. Keeps it between the Mayo and the Mustard just about. Certainly using the allowance of curbs. The Lamborghini very close. Oh, and just a little bit of oversteer there at the bottom of Aquaman Rally. And oh wow, so he went off track massively on the last lap, and here comes the Ferrari right up the inside. Wow, he really threw himself on those inside curves.
Yeah.
Bit of a late lunge there almost, I think, there from the Ferrari. I mean, he might have just missed these brakes ever so slightly, but that certainly was. I mean, we're talking about an aggressive or brave amount of curves. That was brave. A brave amount of curves to take.
I mean, it looks like he just didn't expect that he was even able to make a move there. Of course, because of the mistake he made in Aquaman Rally. Suddenly coming at him real fast, so maybe a bit surprised there. And took a nice flight over the curb.
Indeed, yeah, all 4 wheels separated from the ground. Just jumping on board, same thing that you're looking at, Daniel. There is Timmermans and Osseforth then battling for 17th position. There are 2 of the closest on cars on track. Just as I say that, Polovchuk looking to complete the move on Velikopolski, not to be this time around. And Ladke has wasted no time getting right back under the rear spoiler into turn number 1. Is he close enough? Not quite. Almost contact between the 2 of them through the first chicane this time. He wasn't going to be forced out onto the outer curb in that time, was he, Daniel?
No. Can't hit the same stone twice, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fool me once, shame on me.
Is that the thing Bush so elegantly said? Fool me once, something.
I do know to which as you refer, good man. Yes, that is phenomenal stuff. It just, let's not get political. Just such a statement to make such a statement. Phenomenal stuff. Polovchuk again, he's still looking to make a statement. So too Campagnella as well, actually. The Raggioli racing team, as we mentioned, a bit of contact at the start. They've guided the Lambo back up to 11th position though, and they're certainly giving Fallu in the Audi. Pause for thought. The race, is that the Race IT Sports? Oh no, because it is Race Esports. My apologies. The Race IT is the Ferrari in the red. But yeah, the Audi, as we can see, does being chased by Campagnella, and it's Tomlin. Tomlin is 2.5 down, but he's still showing some good time through the middle of the lap. Campagnella as we can see in the same boat, Pilarczyk and Wielkopolski. They are getting very close again. Let's see if we see anything into turn number 1.
Looking at Hladky fighting out with Litterscheid, just went through Umbrello onto the Villeneuve corner there.
Well, yeah, if you want to keep watching that, we've got that your screen running live in the bottom of my screen. So if you keep an eye on that battle, I'll keep an eye on this one.
Yep.
Please ignore me tidying this up. We can even make it a bit bigger, I think. Yeah, so there we go. We've got Hladky on the screen, on the small screen there, Wielkopolski and mega aggressive from Hladky, says Tom Bryant. Yeah, there's been, to be fair, there's been some elbows out, Daniel, if we're going to call it like we're saying it. There has been some elbows out in some of the corners, potentially a bit of mistakes on the brakes, too aggressive on the curve. But certainly, yeah, there has been a fair bit of elbows out, but then, no, it's not a justification, certainly, but given what's on the line, the drivers are definitely going for it.
Absolutely, and the levels are so close that you have to fight for it, and throw your elbows out. You can't do it any other way, I think. I mean, if one guy is a second quicker, then I can comfortably he can relax. But there's no relaxing here tonight.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I got completely distracted by what point was about to make. Absolutely can't remember. Let's have a quick look at Martin Laurent. He is 3.8 seconds in the lead. We can still see Hladky defending there from Litterscheid as he's got himself back up to 4th position. Igornikov still in 2nd with Gorodetsky in 3rd place. Hladky, as we can see there, in 4th position. Litterscheid 5th, Busek in 6th place still. Arndt and Wielkopolski still separated by very little at all. More gratuitous spoiler shots. Let's look at Wolfchuk. There we go. Jump onto his front bonnet. Thalou closing in on Campagnella. In fact, sorry, Campagnella got the overtake done there. So he's up to 10th then, Daniel. So Raggioli Racing really showing some of the pace that they've got then. And we've maybe been denied an extra bit of spice in the podium battle, but certainly, oh no, they've just gone back down to 11th. Oh wow, so there's a big battle going on there.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not over yet.
You want to go full screen, tell us what you're seeing.
Yeah, I'm looking at the company result. Looking at there's been a bit of contact there as well. Let me do a real quick replay here.
Yeah, no
because
problem.
there has been contact, so we're looking at the replay now here. Yeah, side by side through the chicane, and chooses to just go straight, but perhaps he just gave back the position. That would be the sporty thing to do. So we're back live on my screen, but he is looking, but not yet. Definitely. Let's Tulo know that he's there, and Tulo goes off the track there actually.
It does indeed, yeah. We've got a couple of beautiful camera angles of that one there, but Campagnella does get that 10th position then. I've only to sort the sound out for that little stream, but yeah, that is looking nicely.
It looked like Tulo just sort of had a tank slapper, which is not a thing in a GT3 car, but I always call it a tank slapper, and he just wiped himself out into the gravel there. So unfortunately, but that's what pressure does to you, and good job by Campanella. Of course, it's always nice to do a nice overtake, but if you can let pressure do its job, then why not?
Exactly. Is it better to be the hunter or the hunted? Some drivers thrive being ahead, some drivers thrive being chased. At the moment, I would say that Wielkopolski certainly doesn't mind being chased, which is probably just as well because he's had a car less than half a second off his rear spoiler for the opening 35 minutes of the race, and it doesn't look like that is a trend that is about to change any time soon. We've got Sahar Muhin has come out for the Virtual Driving Esports Black team in the Mercedes, just been blue flagged. His teammate, of course, involved in a lot of battles in the early stages, but that is Stolu coming in to the pits as well, which you can see there on the bottom right hand screen. And up to date with what's going on there. So there is Stolu coming into the pits. A bit early actually, Daniel. What would your, although it depends on who you feel potentially is the stronger driver in the team, so 25 minutes left to go of the pit window as well, 60 minutes, so yeah, the drivers easily could have stayed out for a fair bit more time, but yeah, a few early pitters at the minute.
Yeah, but of course Tulo did have that little moment there with in the battle with Campanella, so perhaps he didn't feel comfortable anymore. He might have even damaged his tires as well, so he might have chosen for that reason to make his stop a bit earlier, as we see it. His teammate is now leaving the pit, or yeah, just a couple of seconds left there in the pit. Of course, it takes way too long to get going. But yeah, leaving the pit now, and that is back in 19th position.
And it is, and it's actually a Gornikov going a lap up, so the top two are a lap up on Thulu's teammate, that is Jeremy Badoba in the Audi, so we'll see them make up quite a few positions when the pit stops iron themselves out. Hladky's got himself within a second of Bogoroditsky. There was only a second separating the top 15 drivers in quali, and Hladky was 7 thousandths quicker than Larenk, Gornikov and Bogoroditsky. There is a very similar gap in pace between the three of them percentage wise, because the gap between the three of them is growing at almost the same percentage rate, although there Larenk taking a big chunk out of the gap, or adding a lot to Gornikov there. 5.4 seconds that jumped up to potentially Gornikov making his way through some of this traffic. Oh, there we see Hladky aggressively again over those curves. He is not shy. Honestly, Daniel, pre 1.9, if someone had said what happens next and showed you Hladky's entry into that final chicane and then paused it just as he hit those sausage curves, your reaction, good sir?
Well, I have to be honest that I haven't done a lot of driving with 1.9, although the driving I did I really enjoyed. I personally really love those physics, but yeah, the endurances I did were in 1.8, and it's a huge challenge. That's probably where I lose a lot of time on this track, because well, that's of course speaking of the 1.8 patch, because you just don't know what the car is going to be there, so just take it really easy and be conservative in taking that corner. So, but yeah, it is such an important corner. I think it's just half a second probably if you get it right.
Oh yeah, a massive amount of times can be lost and gained there. There is a penalty coming in, so the pens have been clicking in the steward's box. Yes, George, I stole that line from you, thank you very much. But Busek with a 5-second penalty. It's okay, he works for me, so it's fine, technically. But yeah, Hladky is still closing in then. We've got this great onboard shot there in the bottom right of the screen. We're getting a good external shot. These two still battling out. Hladky certainly had an eventful race so far. We've still got 51 minutes to go, but he does only have a maximum of 20 minutes left on track. before he must mandatorily hand the car over to his teammate. They're both getting a bit of slipstream then from Badoba, who's just been handed the car then in 19, so fourth and fifth. Third and fourth looking to catch up to him as well. They're getting a bit of slipstream into turn number 1. This is going to be the time we see Hladky get himself back on the podium. He's certainly positioned the car around the outside. Oh, was there enough room left? He's used those sausage curbs, Daniel. Bit of contact there.
Yep, yeah, it's just a little bump, and now Hladky has to start again. But hopefully it doesn't take, well, hopefully for him, it doesn't take too much time. He is a bit quicker, so. I got a little replay for you for the incident that caused the 5-second penalty for Bucek.
Okay.
Yeah, let me just take my screen there for a second. This should be the correct replay. Just fingers crossed here. Just the camera real quick. Ooh, so yeah, just that doesn't seem too bad, but another camera here. Doesn't seem too bad, but it is unnecessary contact. Yeah, actually, let me look at this, because this might be the yeah, that's the one. That's definitely there's definitely a lot of bumping between these two guys. So and that's also something that Menno will definitely take into account. There's multiple contacts, then of course yeah, you're gonna have to keep your eyes open there. So it's a 5-second penalty to Bucek.
So there we go, penalty handed out. So there's why not a lot of penalties handed out so far. So it has been a good race. We'll see if the stewards continue their generosity. Just very quickly, sorry Daniel, I'm very quickly changing something else in the background so we can still have a live feed of the race while we're watching the replays as well. So there we go.
Continuous improvement. I love it.
Indeed. And yeah, tell you what, so we'll bring your screen back on as well, because we've got the Hladky battle there. And we're still watching Martin Larenc up at the front. We've got another car penalised. That is the Team Ballas Esports. Now, we did see that contact into the second chicane. So if I was a betting man, I'd pop some folding money on that being why they've received that 5 seconds. Of course, it wasn't a massive contact, but he was very far over on the right, and as you know, overtaken off track, massively frowned upon. If you do cause a bit of contact while you're trying to do it, it's not going to be looked kindly upon. But 5-second penalty there for Pitchick taking over for the Team Ballas Esports car. So it's 3 teams in and taking their pits, 2 teams with penalties so far, and we're still watching Hladky and Bogoroditsky. Now that the battle between Velikopolski, and Hladky's in the pits. Hladky's in the pits. A straight 50-50. Imagine he's the slower of the 2 drivers, Daniel.
Yeah, that's well, definitely. I mean, could he move back up to the well, at least second position? That's going to be the question, because he's still very much up there.
Yeah, certainly pace-wise, he is definitely on there. It's definitely an argument could be made that he's been held up with the drivers ahead, making his way back through the held up. They've been defending, as is their right. They're not far off the pace. As I said, 15 cars qualified within 1 second of one another. So everyone has got an argument. If they've got track position, yeah, possession is 9/10 of the law. It certainly seems to be. Yeah, absolutely can't argue with that, as we can see. Hladky there. Just being dropped, and it is Mattia De Campo that's taking over. So De Campo out on track. That long and unwinding road. Very long pit straight here. Pit straight. Bucek there, getting close again over the curbs. That is the race esports car of Badoba. going a lap down on Busick in 5th. Busick got a 6.4 second gap over Arndt then, so 6th position looking very good at the minute, of course. We'll have seen the Team Shizou car come into the pits. They were ahead when they did so, and more cars coming in. That's 4 cars in the pit, Daniel. I think it's pretty safe to say that a lot of the teams opting for the straight 50-50 approach, as we are pretty much bang on the halfway mark of the race and 15 minutes left to go of the pit window.
Yeah, and I mean, it's at the end of the day, most of us still do this for fun. So I think that would be a good point, a good argument for a 50-50 split. And of course, I can imagine that the level is pretty much the same in terms of between the teams or in the teams. Of course, drivers generally look for someone who's around their speed, because it's probably just going to be annoying for both parties if there's a half a second gap in lap times. So I think it might be an advantage for everyone to get a sharp driver in the car as soon as possible. Of course, it isn't the longest race in the world, 45 minutes, but there's still going to be some. You're going to be a bit tired, and it could do with a fresh driver getting into the car.
The letter sheet has come back out, and Bogoroditsky has been relieved. It is Leonid Makovkin who is taking the wheel. Very quick. But yeah, Finn letter sheet then. I'm not sure what's going on there. But it is, she is registered. I thought, Schneider. There's 2 Schneiders racing in the same team, but Lersheed definitely is going to have to come back into the pits. Well, the one mandatory is still there, so it hasn't been a driver swap. Velikopolsky into the pits, Busick into the pits, Campagnella in from 6th position for the Radzioli racing team. Larenk and Agornikov have both stayed out. There is Timmerman's car leaving the pits. It's Christoph Samin, who did the qualifying, of course. Comes over for the team Cess. Patrick Bisters takes over in the Porsche. There's Daniel Thielen in the team Drinkers Pub car. And it is Scheckerman Brian coming into the pits for the GAE Porsche. And the only pit stop, Amaral is out as well. Look at Amaral for Big Brain Racing. Wow, I've hardly mentioned them in this race. Sorry, they've been up and down the pit, but Amaral, he is a bit quick. How have they completely flown under the radar so far?
Let me tell you, I think even in Zandvoort, we didn't give these guys a lot of airtime. So, let's do that now. Yeah,
definitely flown under the radar a bit, just getting the head down. It's like the old German car advert. What was it they said? You don't know how well something's doing its job until it doesn't.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
I love the livery these guys have.
Again, I remember this last time as well, actually. Yeah, you're right. Dundee United fan. I'm a huge Dundee United fan, and this is the colours that our strip has, and it's exactly what's on their car. Definitely the name Amaral jumped out there. Quick driver. There we go.
Litterscheid back in the pit, by the way. Hopefully doing his driver swap this time.
Agornikov in the pit as well. Our Styles Racing says success, good luck. So there we go, the driver swap has been a success there, I believe. Agornikov, as I mentioned, he's coming to the pits. And we're watching that one there. As I mentioned there, look at Amaral on his way out the pits. Oh! And that is going to be another trip into the pits then for Maximilian Shea. A stop-go 30-second penalty, Daniel. That is an absolute race killer around this.
That's harsh.
Not in the pits anymore, so... they've disconnected. Race over for that one. Darren Jones for the pseudo racing team, another team that I barely had a mention, given that they were involved in one early battle actually. They had made their way well inside the top 10. Benjamin Haleman in the McLaren, now out and flying. He'll be looking to chase down Makovkin and De Campo, of course. Rakhmatov is out for Gornikov in the VDS Academy Mercedes. I was going to say McLaren. You can forgive me for that. There is enough of them. There's Ark coming into the pits, made his way up to second with all the pits. Adamu as well. Good track through the field. He's got himself a nice bit of clear air, so using that to his advantage, getting some laps in there. There is Tom Venters, fresh from the YouTube chat and straight behind the wheel. Looks like 13th position.
Good luck, Tom, if you're still listening.
Indeed, and if you are still listening, turn it down. There's nothing more off-putting sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially if something exciting happens and we both start jumping out our skin.
Not a lovely accent going on.
Indeed. Love the multinational. We've
Acqua
got...
Minerali.
See what... 100%. We all know which one we prefer. Let's be serious. Definitely being serious. Martin Larenc up at the front in the McLaren. He's absolutely flying. He's got Adamu just come into the pit, so he is the last driver to take his pit stop. Louis Fleischer comes out for the Team 1 Lambo. They'll be looking to strengthen their charge for third place in the championship with this stint here. And Larenc comes into the pits. I did wonder, Daniel, if he was going to stay out for the maximum hour. So he did have another 9 minutes, but he is coming in to relinquish the wheel. You can't blame him for staying out as long as possible there. An absolute worldie of a stint and a great gap to put over this field, and probably a good strategy. Stay out last and hopefully get straight back out in first place and give your teammates some nice clear air ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's working, why change it? And it was definitely working for Larenc. So yeah, I think that's a good strategy. Let's hope everything goes right in the pit stop.
Yeah, he's just taken that now. It's Miles Hemming that's taken over for the Raggioli Racing team. He's come back out, got the car up to 9th position. It is Sekurakova who is ahead of him in the Mercedes. The 412 car looking quick, pit check ahead with a 5-second penalty. Makovkin, 5-second penalty as well for the Crazy Fly team. Now he is, I know Makovkin, very, very, very quick indeed. Brescia on his way out of the pits. Where is Rakhmatov? This is going to be close. Tell you what, Daniel, oh no, it doesn't matter because it's not as close as I thought it was going to be, but I think the gap has closed ever so slightly. We shall see. I'm just watching Brescia then. Rakhmatov, oh, he's only now just coming into the first corner, so Brescia really did, the team did get a very, very, very smooth pit stop there.
Yeah.
Rakhmatov still got 3.8 back to Campo, but they've in fact increased the gap then. 8.7 seconds, Daniel, so worldie of an opening stint there from the team leading the race.
Yeah, and again, in Zandvoort, of course, they did a good job by staying out on the slicks, so they were able to get in the 5th position over the line there. So yeah, this would be a good continuation of their championship. Excellent job.
Indeed it is, yeah. RCI Esports, a couple of cars out on track, and they've got the top spot at the minute, a handy 8.4 second gap after the pit stops have done. The cloud is lessening, Daniel, but it does seem like the drivers are going to get a much different closing stint to the race than we did at Zandvoort. Of course, could not be more of a contrast between the two events, the way it's running. I mean, Brescia, yeah, the slick tyres definitely working for Larenc and the gang in this race.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's well, they're making the most of it. That's very clear. Doing a good job there.
Yeah,
but, yeah, as you say, a 8.4 second gap, and I see it increasing as I'm talking. So as Rapapov, I'm personally looking at Rapapov at the moment.
Yeah, I've got it on De Campo at the minute, actually. I'm going to keep a close eye on that because he has got the Team Shizou car back onto the podium. Well, it was back onto the podium. Makovkin is the driver chasing them down. The two of them lapping fairly equilibriously. In fact, Makovkin half a second, quicker on that previous lap. So he is closing in there. So this could be a battle royale, especially if De Campo can fend them off and close in on Rakhmetov. We do know obviously the car started on pole position, so the team do have pace. Can De Campo close on Rakhmetov? Oh, there we go. So a 3-second swing in De Campo's favour on both sides of the timing deltas there. Rakhmetov finding a couple of tenths here and there on Brescia. 35 minutes to go, so still plenty of laps in this one. 31 at the minute, we've still got at least 15 to go. And Amaral there, as I mentioned, I spotted his name as soon as he came out of the pits. He's already closed up on Maheen ahead. I think Maheen might still be carrying damage, although that might be a graphical glitch. Occasionally the drivers do get the damage repaired, but it does still look damaged on screen. Although as you and I know, Daniel, we'll see you come into the pits and you get the damage repaired. That can often mean just ripping off the bits of cardboard. Oftentimes, I mean, the front splitters on these cars, I've said it before, they're held together with sellotape, hopes and dreams in most cases. And if you make contact and lose just that little bit of fin, when you bring in the guard, they literally will just just rip it off, the broken bit, and you're then left carrying that little instability for the rest of the race. So often getting the damage repaired is sometimes not the best idea, because you then got a completely different car to learn when you come back out the pits.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, repairing the car in cars that are essentially made for endurance racing as well. Repaired is not shiny new showroom repaired. It's just how do you say, sort of MacGyver repaired would probably be. But it's just say duct tape and let's see how we end up.
I 100% approve of the reference. Yes, the only man in the world, of course, that can solve a nuclear reactor meltdown with a piece of chewing gum, some tin foil, and a pipe cleaner. Absolute legend, of course, MacGyver.
Yeah, he was a great GT racer as well. No, I don't know. But, I'm sure he would have been.
Of course he would have been. And he would have been a phenomenal race engineer that would have managed to get half a tank of fuel through a fuel endurance race.
Yeah, I would have done. He would have done absolutely everything there.
Oh, sorry, that's really tickled me. That was very good. I love that. Carlo Barberi is out for the race. IT Squadra Corsa car. They did get themselves a little bit of a penalty in the opening exchanges. As I say, there is a lot on the line. Places in the SimGrid VCO Grand Finals in November and December. Barberi out behind the wheel. 11th position, closing in on Vidoba. Another car that was involved in some incidents. One of the first cars to pit, in fact the first car to pit and swap their drivers, so they were down at the back of the field, now find themselves in 10th. They've also got Raoul Olderman. He took over for the GAE Porsche. 19th position. A couple of cars have unfortunately disconnected. And at the minute, things are certainly moving in De Campo's favour more than any other driver up at the front. He is extending the gap almost to Makovkin. He is closing in a bit on De Campo. Closing in on Rakhmetov. Can hardly close in on himself. Barberi certainly, again, over those curves in that McLaren. Incredible scenes. Amaral still very much putting a pressure on to Maheen as well.
It's a nice battle.
It really is. Is this the one that you're watching as well?
Yeah, I'm
excellent.
Just picked another camera spot. Let's go to the interior of Amaral actually.
Yeah, and get a great shot of this heading down into, and Barbary as well actually. Let me just keep an eye on this battle here ahead. This is for top 10 honours. Barbary certainly closing in at the minute. So dual on-board shots then. We've got the Ferrari hunting down the Audi and the McLaren hunting down the Mercedes. McLaren dominant starting to rear its head again up at the top. Two McLarens in the podium positions at the minute, chased by two Lambos, and then two McLarens hailing on pit 6th and 7th. Korokova can see that 5-second penalty that Pitstick has and is within 3 seconds, so certainly objective very clearly outlined for Korokova. Get to within 5 seconds, keep within 5 seconds if possible, get the overtake done, but certainly not a massive priority with that penalty there, and the position going to be gifted as soon as they cross the line. Still got Amaral chasing Muhin, coming into the first corner again. Muhin getting a great exit out of Ravazza. And there is the pit window closed, 29 minutes to go. Brescia leading the way for the RCI Esports team. This is going to strengthen their grip. This is going to give them some good points. I don't think it's going to quite put them top, because Team Shizou on the podium again. Or at the minute, certainly. No cost to the commentators here, please. Thank you very much. 29 minutes to go.
Just gonna see if I can get the replay of the 607 car that got a 5-second penalty in contact with the 211 car.
Yeah, let me know as soon as you've got that running, and I will bring it up. I've taken your screen off at the moment. Oh, good look up the inside down into Ravazza as he opened up the corner enough for the cutback. Is there room for the cutback? There isn't quite. The Audi. Phenomenal work through the middle phase of the corner there. They're exiting Ravazza. They are bumper to bumper. Barbary really soaking up the pressure. Now the Ferrari's going to have a look around the outside. Is he? The Audi can't decide which line he wants to take, so he keeps the car right in the middle at the moment. No defensive move early. See where the Ferrari tries to go. No room at the moment then for Barbary into turn number 1. Dead. Think about it there. Very close through Ravazza, but back to building to retry and get this overtake done. We've got Amaral still hunting down Muhin. Bit of an extension in the gap there. De Campo finding time again on Rakhmetov, who's lost a bit of time on Brescia. Makovkin now definitely losing a bit of time there to De Campo. Fleischer could be in the hunt then. Only needs to find 3 seconds on Makovkin, and then Makovkin's penalty will see him drop down a position. Barbary still close then. Let's stay on board with the Ferrari.
Got a replay for Makovkin if you're ready, John.
Yeah, go for it.
So you see 607 car jumping off the curb here. But, yeah, just not a massive amount of contact, but yeah, good enough for a penalty. So that's him hitting De Campo there.
Yeah, so a bit of contact there, so that's what's separated those two at the moment.
Just gotta do a quick shout out to the Yoda Tube. It's a friend of mine, Samuel. Yeah, there you go. Just get the pronunciation of the name right, of course. So yeah, how you doing, mate? He says a good performance indeed.
Good evening, Samuel. How are you? Thank you for tuning in. Hope you're enjoying the recent action that we have got. It is, of course, round number 2, road to the grand finals, the Dutch way. We had a phenomenal race, round number 1 at Zandvoort, heavily weather influenced is the word I was struggling for there. We've had the sun splitting the pavements here in Imola. There was some cloud at the start, but the track temperature now up to 34 degrees means that highly unlikely we're going to see rain in the closing 26 minutes of this one, which has been an absolute gift, given that the 15 cars, 1 second separating them at the start of qualifying. We've got Zolder, Watkins, Glen, and of course we finish with the 4 hours of Suzuka. That one is going to be an absolute cracker. We've got an increase in the points. We've got confirmation of that corrected on SimGrid. They are a bit high at the moment, but there is a huge increase in the points up for grabs in the final round. So the teams that stay with the competition definitely give themselves a phenomenal shot at winning themselves one of the 5 places up for grabs directly in the final, or one of the GT4 playoff spots. 2 spots available from this competition for the playoffs, 5 directly for the final, 3 in GT3 cars and 2 of course in GT4 cars. And we've had a treat so far, and with the rest of the calendar, Daniel, we've got some great racing ahead as well.
Wow, love it. I mean, I'm really looking forward to Suzuka. I think it's a great way to end, sort of top it all off. But Zolder, Watkins Glen, as you say, amazing tracks, really historical tracks, and that's why I love this track selection. I mean, these are all epic tracks. Zandvoort, Imola, Watkins Glen, Zolder, and Suzuka are all, just old school racing tracks. So lovely. By the way, I can tell you that the Menno, amazing as he is, has already updated the points list in the meantime as well. Ooh, contact there. Yeah, let me just finish that sentence. He's already updated the points list on the SimGrid. So it's double points for Suzuka. So check that out. Definitely worthwhile to race in the final race as well.
Oh yeah, there we go. Perfect. He has got it updated. Excellent. Nice work, Meryl.
Yeah, that guy is just a legend.
Yeah, doesn't mess about. And clearly, built a phenomenal community, getting themselves one of the entry events. Oh, and here comes Big Brain Racing, actually, just as I was about to mention that. Is this going to be the lap he gets to move down into Ravazzi? He's got the side-by-side. Can he get the cutback and make it work on the exit? Oh, and the McLaren, the Mercedes, on the outside, 2 wheels on the gravel, loses the momentum. And look at Amaral, after several patient laps there. Beautiful driving in the battle. And is it going to be side by side into turn number 1? I think it is. The Mercedes gets some great speed out of the last corner, really brings the fight back, and look at that thing go in a straight line, an absolute missile into turn number 1, and he's going to have the position into turn number 1. They're going to go side by side, little bit of wing mirror rubbing on the way in, and that is a big contact on the way out. Such an unfortunate ending to that battle, Daniel. You really have got me tipping over my words tonight, but it's fine. But it's an unfortunate way to end that battle. Great drive between the two of them there. Yeah.
You see it. I was just looking at a real quick replay. If you were looking at my tiny screen, but he just came off the curb a bit, and I think both cars might have gone into just a bit too quick, and not having maximum control. As you will do during the battle. So Muhin now has to get back into the groove.
Yeah, it really does. One of the drivers getting in the groove in his stint, certainly Benjamin Haleman, another one of the RCI cars, putting in some very quick laps at the minute, and he is putting the pressure on Fleischer ahead of him. Arndt found himself under a lot of pressure in his stint from the Mercedes. It's going to be a McLaren pressing his Lamborghini in the closing stages. De Campbell has got the gap to Rakhmatov under 4 seconds, but it's taken him 10 minutes to do so. Quick maths. Rakhmatov looking good to hold on to second place. Fleischer is closing the gap as well, actually, now that I do the maths quickly on that. On Makovkin as well. He's got Haleman closing in. Could Haleman and Fleischer sneak their way ahead of McCovkin with that 5-second penalty. With some of these lap times, that is actually on the cards. Wow, that could be a really costly 5-second. I mean, you look at you talk about how close it can be in racing, down to the finest of margins. A 5-second penalty could see McCovkin drop from 4th down to 6th, Daniel, given that Fleischer and Haleman really are putting in some laps in these closing 20 minutes.
Yep. Yeah, that could very well happen with 20 minutes to go, as you say. Just a long time to keep that gap up. I mean, it's pressure enough to not make mistakes, but if you get a job like that, yeah, that might just be too much. I'm also keeping an eye on the fight for P10, Buda and Barbary.
Yeah, Budova.
Budova, yeah.
Yeah.
Might still pronounce it incorrectly, but there you go.
It's the thought that counts, I'm told.
Exactly.
But you told them you thought about buying them flowers, but you bought yourself a pizza instead, and they're not happy. Honestly. But yeah, Carlo Barbary, is he going to be happy with 11th position? He's certainly putting the pressure under the Audi. No crazy lunges or overtakes here. Very respectful driving again. Amaral and Muhin were having a great... Oh, and I've missed that one. How recently did that happen? Samin, Christoph, drive-through. Oh, it's track limits. Track limits here. The Tim Sis racing car then. 14th position with a drive-through, and I believe that is going to put Mihin Bisters and potentially we could see the Team Drinkers steal a position here as well. So yeah,
Tom Bryant in the chat saying 799 doing absolute bits and 797 flying too.
Yeah, they both are. In fact, that was the two cars I was just mentioning there. They both RCI cars. In fact, one of them, Haleman, closing in on Fleischer and McCovkin. 1.6 there, Fleischer 6.1 down. Oh, McCovkin and Campo 5.6 there. That's under 6 seconds. The Campo 3.6, and Rakhmetov. So Brescia absolutely flying. He was actually 4 tenths slower than Rakhmetov on that last lap, but I think on this one, Rakhmetov has been slowed down a bit because he's lost more than just a few tenths there. As we see Fleischer just ahead of Haleman still. That gap at 1.6 seconds. Hemming 4 down on Sikorakova, who's trying to close in on Pitzik and has got the job done. Sikorakova going great guns there as well, actually. Was over, definitely over the 5-second penalty that Pitzik has after the pit stops, and well within that now. Here comes the drive-through on the next lap for Samin. But yeah, I did wonder if Sikorakova could close that gap and get a penalty, so it does look like Pitzik is going to lose that one, and Hemming as well for Raggioli Racing. They're only 6 seconds now, Daniel, behind Pitzik, so both drivers with a 5-second penalty are in serious danger of losing 2 positions when they cross the line. If ever they needed to get their foot down and have an absolute blistering stint, this 17 minutes is the time to rack up these 10 beautiful quality level laps.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the lap times, and let's see, is doing, last lap was 1:42, so I would say that here we go, Sukorukova was about 2 tenths quicker. Oh yeah, actually he's 3 tenths quicker now. Last lap just came over the line. So yeah, let's be honest, that's probably not going to well, it sounds really dramatic to say it's not going to end well, but I can't imagine that. I mean, 16 minutes, it's a long time to keep a gap like that up.
Yeah, it really is. It's amazing how long 16 minutes can actually seem. The first hour and 15 minutes of this has certainly flown through for us. The closing 16 might fly in as well, as we enjoy the action. There's Samin coming into the pits. He was right on the back of Tom Venters there as well. So denied a bit of a battle there. But yeah, 16 minutes can be a long time when you're out on track. Brescia still putting in absolute worldy level laps here. It's a 41.5, although it did say 40. Oh, so that's actually quite slow, but the gap has increased to Rakhmatov, so the two of them making their way past traffic. Rakhmatov's losing more time there, that highlighted by the fact that the Campo now 3.5 seconds behind Makovkin, carrying the penalty. Got 6.5 seconds now to make up to the Campo. There's the drive through cleared. Samin back out the pits. 16, so he's only lost one position there actually. So a lot less detrimental than I thought it was going to be, but it is one position that he's going to have to try and make back. Pitsick getting the foot down over that last lap. Since I mentioned that gap, under 3 seconds, now over 3 seconds. So Pitsick getting a good one on that last lap. Trying to juggle that gap, but he does it. And Hemming again, the gap there increasing. So now almost 7 seconds Hemming is behind Pitsick. So he really does again need to pick up the pace. So Pitsick taking the advice that the commentators were saying, if ever they needed to get the laps in, now is the time.
Yeah, that you were saying, John. That you were saying, because I basically wrote this guy off. So, so yeah, as I said, yeah, Pitsick can definitely do this, and he's gonna have no problem.
And right after this broadcast, Daniel will be getting his political manifesto. That U-turn was rapid there, my friend. That was incredible. That was politician level type of U-turn there. So yeah, incredible stuff. Running for local office. Vote Daniel.
Our MP is famous for saying, I have no active memory of that. So it's...
wow.
That's how you do that. Huh? Never said that.
I
don't know what you're talking about.
I have no active memory of that. Excellent. Yeah. Popping that one down in the book.
Yeah. I know. I and the rest of the Netherlands did, so...
Yeah. I'll remember that the next time I'm racing as well. You're supposed to brake there and hit that apex. I have no active memory of that.
Yeah.
That's why I keep missing apexes. That's what it is. I have no active memory of that. That's what the problem is. Oh, brilliant. Definitely not missing the apexes. Brescia, Rakhmatov and the Campo putting in the laps. We've only got 13 minutes for them left to go. It's Orderman down in 19th position after a couple of server disconnects. He finds 19 left on the track. Orderman for GAE bringing up the rear at the minute. Schneider, the two Schneiders. Again, I meant to ask last week actually if they were related, and in what way. Thielen for the Team Drinkers Pub, 17th position. Then of course Christoph Samin was seen in 15th for the Tim Sis with that drive-through penalty, trying to catch up to RS1's Patrick Beisters. 15th position. Maheen is in 14th in the Mercedes. Tom Venters was coming under pressure from Samin then until he came in that drive-through. He's now in 13th place. Amaral in 12th position, hunting down Bedoba once again. Barbary in 10th place. And inside the top 10 it is Miles Hemming for Ragioli Racing with Korakova in 8th place in the Mercedes. We've got Pitsick in 7th with that penalty. Haleman in 6th, Fleischer in 5th, Makovkin in 4th place again with the penalty, and Fleischer within the 5 seconds then, 4.7 seconds separating them. So Fleischer really is flying, and there is a penalty being handed out now. That was a question that was hanging in the air there, of course. Barbary and Bedoba having themselves a bit of contact, and the stewards have spoken. That is 5 seconds for Barbary in the race IT car, so that is going to give Bedoba, if it stays like this, the position back then, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the incident. I can get a nice little replay of that. Ooh, there's actually, I see multiple contacts, so just gonna look into the replays a bit.
Yeah, you have a nosy those. If you do have anything good, give us a shout, we'll pop it up.
Yeah.
Brescia just going past Maheen then, so putting another lap on 14th position. just lap after lap, 1 minute 41.2, so only 6 tenths slower than the fastest lap of the race so far. That is the level of consistency being shown by the McLaren up at the front. Ooh. Does really aggressively again hit those curbs. I really do need to stop reacting like this is 1.8 physics. We're in 1 point now. It's okay. It's not an instant shadow realm anytime you look at a sausage curb. We've got De Campo and McCovkin. Louis Fleischer there as well. Still running in 5th place, but it is going to be 4th if he keeps this up. He's got himself past the Porsche of Thielen there. Just running in 17th. But still, again, some good laps being put in by all the drivers over the top. Hilleman doing everything he can once again. So 6.9, so it is hovering about the 7 second mark. He is behind McCovkin. He's got 10 minutes left. And he's lapping almost equilibriously. In fact, Hilleman, Fleischer and McCovkin on that previous lap, all three of them 1 minute 41.5. So, identical lap times to within thousands there. So it goes to show you just how much of a battle this has been. And yeah, likelihood is, although De Campo then finding a big chunk of time on Rachmaninoff. That is now down to 2.8 seconds with 10 minutes to go. That is not long left at all, but he's certainly finding the pace now. 3 tenths quicker on that last lap. We'll see what this lap time's like, but there you can clearly see in the distance. There is the Mercedes on its way into Ravazza, and the McLaren is definitely closing in. We'll see what the delta says across the lap time. They've got no more blue flag traffic in between them, and they do have Muhin ahead of them in 14th position. He's currently lapping about 1.2 seconds slower, so they may actually catch him before they get to the end of the race.
Got a little replay for you, Joe.
Yeah, okay, go. Cue it up. There we go. The screen is yours, my good man.
Yeah, so that's Barbary, and that's the 93 car. Would have to look. Yeah, I'm not going to pronounce his name again, but yeah, they've been at it for a couple of laps now at this point. Let me show that again. Yeah, Barbary just gives out a little push there, which unsettles the car. The other car, I should say, and yeah, he does gain the position there, but they have been going on. They have been going at it for about 5 minutes there already. So, yeah, in my replay screen, I see about 5 instances where these cars contacted each other. So they were already battling out really fiercely. But then in the end, Barbary pushed. I'm gonna try it again. Buda?
Close enough.
93 car. The 93 car.
Badoba. Yeah, Badoba.
Badoba. Yeah. It's like you trying to pronounce Thiele. Yeah. So when
maybe swiftly on. I'm not even going to try it.
Yeah, they yeah, came in contact. There was a little bit of yeah, unstable. How do you say that? The car got unsettled, and Barbary made an unfair pass, so that's what he got the 5-second penalty for.
So there we go, 5 seconds there, and it is going to, as I say, give Badoba the position back. We've seen Klaus Schneider just come in and serve a drive-through for track limits. That's put them down at the back of the field. Then Alderman making back that position as I butcher that name as well. It could be worse. I could have to say purple burglar alarm.
Barbary in another contact there. Let's see if I can get it instant replay there.
Yeah, tell you what, let's see if I've got. Yeah, indeed, there we go.
That's Barbary, and I think that's the car of Thiele.
It is indeed the pub drinkers.
Yeah, yeah.
17th position they're currently in at the minute. Oh, There's a lot of speed that he was carrying through there, and he made very big contact. But again, 1.9 physics means no shadow realming. Both cars have lost a bit of carbon fibre.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do any stewarding during the commentary. I think that's
100%. Yep.
a bad thing to do. But I can tell you that there is a question in the league chat on Discord from a teammate of the 32 car. So yeah, I think the reason that I'm telling you that is that I don't want to cause a fuss about that, but I can imagine that there's some unrest in the car, and yeah, that ends up in a lack of concentration, and they might get some stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, okay, Daniel, sorry, I'm going to put on auto. I will just quickly get you to take over for a couple of seconds. I just very quickly need to fix something.
Yes, sure. So looking at Barbary again, still behind the 93 car. Let's jump on board here a bit. Because yeah, they do have that 5-second penalty, but they yeah, still want to make the most out of this, of course, with just a little over 5 minutes to go in the race. So of course, with that 5-second penalty, even if they make this overtake, that's not going to give them that number 10 position. But yeah, who knows? They have a question about the penalty that they got. So they might do an appeal, and maybe the punishment is revoked. You never know. That's something that we yeah, take really seriously, that we want to investigate once we get an appeal. Of course, we don't like unnecessary appeals, but if you feel that that we made a wrong assessment, then we're definitely going to have another look. So something that might happen. And let's also look at the Ordelman, who's within half a second of Schneider now. One of the two Schneiders. Of course, I'm gonna guess these are brothers, but let's see if we can find out in the coming week what the relationship is there. Ordelman taking a look, but not making a move just yet.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, another 5-second penalty popping up there for Barbary then, so it looks like that has been picked up by the stewards. Of course, always best not to steward when you're commentating, because you don't always, yeah, you really do need, as you and I will testify, and everyone in chat will know, Daniel, you really do need to look at the replay. There's always, there can always be extenuating circumstances.
Absolutely.
Oh, but that's 15 seconds that's up to now. Amaral could now be in the hunt for a position back after dropping down the order. Badoba getting those moves done on track, so potentially that was while I was away there. Apologies, some electricity issues, but it was seemed to be okay.
What it could be was that what I just showed was the reason that he gets another 10 seconds. And as I say, these guys were at it for quite a while. So yeah, am I getting confused now? No, I'm not. As I said, there were about 5 contacts. So, yeah, it could be any of these 5 contacts that cost the initial 5 seconds. And as you say, we have another 10 seconds now. So, I see the stewards are typing in the incident decisions chat. So we'll know pretty soon what the problem was there. But yeah, multiple bumps there between these two guys.
Yeah, indeed, yeah, multiple contacts. That is still running, but on board with Barbary at the minute then, as we can see. He's got that 15 seconds. Amaral 19 seconds down, only 2 minutes left to go though. De Campo's done everything he can to close that gap to second place. Doesn't quite look like it's going to be enough. Rakhmatov as well has managed to make some gains through the traffic as well, down to 8.5 seconds. But it certainly looks like this is an RCI Esports race victory in the McLaren. Haleman in 6th position, ably backing up there. So phenomenal points haul for the team overall.
And do you remember, John, my prediction that Pichik was absolutely going to hold on to the number 7 position? It's now turned into a prediction. But yeah, he did. It looks like he actually is going to be able to keep hold of this, because it's still stable around 5 seconds. So yeah, he could very well get away with it.
Indeed, we've got Muheen in the chat being, how is number 10 doing? Big shout out for Brescia, first race for the team. Mega job to extend the gap made by Larenk, indeed. And Rapid 67, how is number 10 doing? Fleischer doing very well at the moment. Leaders on the final lap, these two. Definitely not on their final battle. It is a battle that won't result in a position for Barbary, even if he gets the overtake done. He's got that 15-second penalty. But Fleischer doing very well, certainly putting Makovkin under pressure. Makovkin got the 5-second penalty, so the Team 1 car at the moment is looking like 4th position at the end of the race. Oh, Christoph Samin. Another drive-through for track limits, Daniel. 1 in a race is bad, but 2 in 90 minutes, that is, yeah, massive mistakes there.
You'll definitely be very annoyed with that. And what about the Formula 1 car? Muheen?
Yes, indeed.
10 seconds penalty to car. Am I reading the correct incident here? Yeah. That's Formula 1 rear ends the 404 car. So the team not found. Not found? Yeah, that's the name.
That's them, yeah. 404, not found.
Although 404 was on the blue flags, it's the responsibility of the faster driver to make a clean move. So let me just get my screen off again, and I can look for a replay.
I'll tell you what, if you bear with us a second, because we're actually just about to see the winner cross the line. RCI Esports charging for the top. They've got cars in the top 5, and they've got cars tonight in the top 6, and it is the top spot for Brescia and Larenk, second in qualifying by 7 thousandths of a second, and they bring home the race win. Phenomenal drive by both, and there is Rakhmatov and De Campo crossing the line. Muheen crosses the line as well, does himself a nice 360 dismount.
That was
Rakhmatov.
a nice move.
Very nice. Oh, and he's going for it again.
This guy's good.
He really is. MacGyver. De Campo back in the pits though. Team Shizu, Makovkin crossing the line in 4th. That's going to be 5th though, with Fleischer 4.2 seconds in arrears, so going to get that position there. Benjamin Haleman for RCI Esports brings home 6th. Pitsick did increase the gap. The Team Ballast driver holding on to 7th. Sokorakova in 8th. Hemming crossing the line in 9th place. Great recovery drive for the Radzioli Racing team. And it is Jeremy Budoba. Look how close these two are across the line then, Daniel. Less than a 10th separating Hemming and Budoba. Hemming and Barbary across the line, but of course Barbary with that 15-second penalty. But that is the top 10 decided. What a race, Daniel. Round number 2, a dry Imola did not disappoint. And RCI Esports really have stamped their authority on the round and looking good heading into the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can imagine that Tom Bryant, as he said in the chat, is really proud of Brescia, as he did an awesome job there. Well, both the guys, of course. Laurent did an excellent start to the race, and then Brescia finished it off just perfectly. So the battle is on for the rest of the championship.
Yeah, it really is. There is confirmation of the standings. Brescia and Larenk, Rakhmatov, Ogornikov, De Campo and Hladky on the podium. Hladky and De Campo qualifying in pole, making their way back from 6th after a lap 2 incident. Fleischer and Arndt held on to 4th. Makovkin and Bogoroditsky demoted to 5th position with that penalty. Pitsick and Polovchik did hang on for Team Ballas, as I mentioned there. They got the gap up to 6 seconds. Budoba and Thalou rounding out the top 10. Amaral and Tomlin got 12th. Venters and Jones in 13th. Muheen and Viskovsky despite their penalty, finishing in 14th, with Bisters and Osforth finishing in 15th. Sameen and Timmermans crossed the line with a drive-through, so they were given a 30-second penalty, but it did keep them ahead of Thelin and Credie. Schneider and Schneider finished in 18th. Alderman and Sheckerman got 19th. Shea and Littersheed got a stop-go 30-second penalty and dropped out in lap 27. Tysons and Troquet, Rial and Pallone not finishing the race either. I am looking for that one. Imola doing Imola things from start to finish. Completely dry race. Massive contrast. If you haven't seen round number 1, make sure you go back and watch it. Incredible variation in the weather. Some brave strategy calls that didn't pay off, but certainly the pace rose to the top at a very dry Imola here at round number 2 of the road to the grand finals the Dutch way. And coming up next, Daniel, we have, of course, got Zolder, a very, very, very different track to the one we've just raced on this evening.
Yeah, absolutely. But as I say, another old school racing track. So in the beautiful Belgian, can I say forest? I haven't actually been there. I was about to go there last year, but something came up. But it is beautiful. I know that. So I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah, that is going to be an absolute cracker. Where is the race highlights? There we go. And we'll close off with some of the highlights. Massive thank you to everyone at DC-SimRacing getting yourselves involved in the finals and putting on some incredible races so far. Kudos to the community. Thank you to Menno and the gang and Daniel for getting me involved in the broadcast. It's been front row seats to some phenomenal racing, so thank you very much for that. Thank you to everyone that we've had in the chat this evening. Menno, of course, Daniel was saying hi himself. We've had Tommy, we've had Roich, Tom Bryant, Tom Venters, Race IT were in, SOP were in as well, Mr. Simon Bagas, DC Racing, the Yota Tube, Tom Bryant, and Rapid as well. And I'm sure Daniel would love to echo those thanks as well.
Absolutely. Well, thanks to you, and thanks to everyone involved. Because this is a treat. This is really a treat. I got a new favorite thing, I think. So very nice.
Excellent. I'm glad you're enjoying it as much as I am, and I'm sure the viewers are as well. We will be back the same time next week. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to get those notifications. Jump into Discord and join the DC Sim Racing community and get on SimGrid and follow them on there and get registered in the racing as well. This was round number 2, the road to the grand finals the Dutch way. My name was John Wright, and with the good night from Daniel Metz.
Good night. Bye-bye.
And a good night from me. Stay safe, take it easy, and have a great rest of your night. Good night.